welcome to the light and the love that is Unity of Lawrence. And Merry Christmas Eve. We're so happy to have you here today. You may have noticed the outstanding Santa collection at both the front and the foyer as you came in. Those are from our beloved member, Chris Hartman, our own Santa Claus who recently passed. So please take a little piece of Chris with you and leave a small donation if you're able. In Unity, we begin everything with prayer. Let's take a centering breath now and open to the divine in all of us and listen to this prayer. On this day, we dedicate our lights, our hearts, to peace on earth. We appreciate everyone's spiritual journey and the abundant blessings bestowed upon us. In unity with all who seek to express freedom, joy, and transformation, we welcome our divine inheritance as creators. In harmony with this truth, we live to the best of our ability with a peaceful mind, a peaceful spirit, and a peaceful heart. And so it is. Amen. Our prayer chaplains are trained to hold sacred space and pray with you one-on-one. If there is anything in your heart to be held in prayer, we invite you to see a chaplain today at the front of the sanctuary following the service. Our chaplain today is Cindy. Where are you, Cindy? Thank you. Our chaplains will also pray for you during the week. Just please fill out a prayer request slip and place it in the wooden box outside the office. Chaplains can also visit in times of need. Just let the office know. All prayers are confidential. And now, let's join Holly in singing Joy in My Day.
Let's go ahead and stand up together. So I'm going to sing through this first verse, and then we'll join it in together, all right? Love in the words I say, peace in the world I made, God in every breath I take, joy in my day, joy in my day. Now let's sing that together. Here we go. Love in the words I say, beautiful. Peace in the world I make, God in every breath I take, joy in my day, joy in my day. You sound so beautiful. We're going to go to the chorus, just like this. We are lifted up, we are lifted up, we are lifted up higher. Just like that. We are lifted up, we are lifted up, we are lifted up higher. One more time. Let's say hello to our neighbors. Give a greeting. going to bring it all together as we're creating this beautiful world. Love in the words we say, peace in the world we make, God in every breath we take, joy in our day, joy in our day. We are lifted up. We are lifted up. We are lifted up. We are lifted up higher. Yes, we are.
What a wonderful way to start our service together. And now it's time to affirm our unity intentions. Please affirm with me unity's founding principle together. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the source of all good. And now our Unity of Lawrence vision statement. United in divine love and joy, we celebrate a peaceful and abundant world for all. And finally, our Unity of Lawrence mission statement. We are a thriving spiritual community, sharing love, building bridges, and inspiring transformation. Kelley Hunt is a singer, songwriter, recording artist, speaker, and workshop facilitator, and all-around badass. That's right. Are we here for Jesus or Kelley? We don't know. Both. The answer is both. The answer is both. No. That's right. There is only one Kelley Hunt. Kelley is based in Lawrence, Kansas, and she's currently at work on her 8th album. And an additional album featuring songs she's written and performed for New Thought churches throughout the U.S., both expected to be released in 2024. Please welcome Kelley.
Tell it on a mountain, over the hills, tell it everywhere. Go, tell it on the mountain, that Jesus Christ is born. While shepherds kept their watch over silent flocks by night, there came a holy light, and they were singing now. Go, tell it on the mountain, over the hills, and everywhere now. Go, tell it on the mountain. Jesus Christ is born. Oh, Jesus is born. Shepherds and the wise men who journeyed Good morning, good morning, good morning. Man, oh man, I walked in today and this place is just glowing. It's glowing. I see all these shining lights out there. I kind of feel like the roof is about to do that sort of thing. So today I'm going to be talking about joy. It's the fourth Sunday of Advent, and here in the Unity Movement, that signifies joy. We've also just experienced the winter solstice, and now some of that light can start coming back in. I don't know about you, but I'm extra ready for the light. Although I have to say, I appreciate every season. I appreciate some of the times that aren't so light-filled. Literally, when it's kind of stormy outside and we're getting the moisture that we so desperately need. Yeah, it's not snow, but there may be some coming. And when my son Adrian was little, every time it would rain outside, I was really mindful about how I spoke about things, because sometimes children take things literally and they take it as gospel and they take it through their lives and believe that stuff. So when it rained, I said, it's raining outside. Free car wash. And now my son has a 2-year-old daughter named Isabel. Interesting. It was raining the other day. She goes, Grandma, free car wash. I said, you know what? You're right. I wonder where you learned that. That's a little slice of joy for me right there. It's actually a big slice of joy. There's so many things happening in our world right now. And we all know it, and we're all aware of it. And we don't need to dwell on it. It's enough to know that we can recognize and empathize and be love in action, which is one of the principles, unity principles, is action is needed, action is required. Love-centered action is a choice for us. And so today, as I remember and am well aware of the suffering that's happening in our world, which is immense, I'm knowing that it's mine to do to be here today, to bring as much love-centered joy as I possibly can to this community, my home community. This is the first time I've ever been able to be here on a Christmas Eve. I've been asked to be here for different services during the day or at night, and I'm always in Emporia, Kansas with my family. But this year, the family decided to celebrate together on Christmas Day. So I get to be home with you all, which is really fun for me, and that brings me joy. Community brings me joy. When I saw each and every one of you walking today, and I mean every one of you, the sight just got more and more beautiful, and the joy quotient in me just started to rise. And I thought, it's Christmas Eve and I get to be here. So thank you for being with us. Thank you so much for that, for friends old and new. It means a lot to me. Yeah, let's give it up for that. Let's give it up for that community. Here we are. I think many of us have grown up with the traditional Christmas story. I know I did. And one of the factors in that story was, there were several things. There was some fear. Can you imagine having a celestial being show up and say, hey, by the way, you're going to have a baby. And so, fear not. It's good news. Yay, I bring you tidings of great joy. And I'd be like, you what? And then to be that young and have that happen. Now, I'm speaking literally, knowing that in the Unity Movement, we look at things metaphorically. But it's interesting for me to look back at what I learned and listened to and was taught and embraced as a child. A lot of that I embrace. The other thing, can you imagine being Mary's husband? Oh, by the way, guess what? And the love and the compassion that he represents, and the support, and the unwavering faith, and the light in that man. Can you imagine? I think he represents a beautiful support team that some of us long for in our lives. There is joy in a quiet, strong, unwavering support. There is joy in that. I have that in my life. I'm so grateful for that in my life. If you have somebody that is that unwavering, beautiful, you can always count on light and love, I am happy for you. If you don't have that in your life, be that for somebody. And then guess what? You do. You have it. We are the light of the world. We're it. Here we are. We're the light of this doggone world. And when we look at the birth of Jesus, the Christ, who had the Christ consciousness, who was a really amazing and long-term example of what that looks like. And he never once said, yeah, well, this is just for me, you guys, so everybody just worship me and love me. No, it's written that he encouraged us to remember we have that, even greater than that, in ourselves. We walk around with it. Oh, there it is. We've got it. We're the light of the world. If we choose to remember it, if we choose to become conscious of it, the Christ consciousness, it's a consciousness. It's already there. It's not like we say, gosh, I hope you can drum up some of that Christ consciousness for yourself in your life at some point. It's already there. We don't have to work for it. We don't have to pay for it. We don't have to go through trials to earn it. It is our God-given right. We have it. So we get to choose to do that and be that if we decide to. What's being born isn't about what isn't there. It's about our awareness of it. So we light the candles, the 4 Advent candles. In unity, it's hope, peace, love, and today, joy, to remind us that these are natural byproducts of who we already are as a spirit being expressed in human form. Yes, we're 100% human and we're 100% divine. It's a wild combination, isn't it? There are some days that I think, how did I sign up for this thing? It's crazy being a human. What is this? And there are some days that I'm so appreciative that I'm here to be the hands, eyes, feet, the arms, to do the work that I'm here to do. And I don't really look at it as work. I look at it as an opportunity. I get to do this today. I get to be here to see my friends, to hug and love and take care of my mother. I get to be here to tell my sisters how much they mean to me, to show my brother that he means everything to me, to tell my son, who is now 38 years old and way taller than me, just what a joy it is to be his mother. This is a joy. It's not dependent on external conditions, however. It's already inside us. So no matter what's happening in our world, and we all know a lot is going on, we know that this is there for us to tap into if we choose it. So what brings us joy? I just want you to think for just a few minutes to yourself. I think joy is a little bit different than happiness. Happiness comes and goes. Joy is a deeper well that comes up through us. Have you ever listened to a piece of music and it was so moving, and you may not have understood the words, it might even have no words, it may be in another language, but it moved you so with such an uplifting joy that you got tears in your eyes? I'm a crier, y'all. Something's happy for me and I go, oh, that's so great. You know, it's an expressing joy. Last week before last, my husband and I were going to put up our wee little Charlie Brown Christmas tree. Our house is about as big as this right here, and so we have a little tree that we put up on a thing. But we thought, well, this year Isabella's 2, so we'll have her help us do it. Last year she was too young to really realize what was going on, and things were interesting to look at. But this year the synapses are firing a little bit more. So, we got out our little tree and we put it up, and I brought up we have a plastic container with the lid with the ornaments on it, and I brought it upstairs, and as I took the lid off of it, she went, oh. And I mean, we have a lot of things that were given to us to put on our tree that were made by our niece or given to us by friends. Some of it's homemade. And she just was delighted, couldn't believe it. And I said, well, the little lights on the tree no longer function. So we had a string of multicolored lights we could use, or a string of lights that look like red peppers, one of my favorites. And we have a string of lights of bubble lights. I always wanted bubble lights on my tree when I was a kid. And I saw other places that had them. We didn't have them on our tree, but that was all right. I thought, someday I'll have bubble lights, by gosh. And, I do. So I said, well, let's pick out the lights that you want, because our tree's so little. Oh, no, we must have all three. So we just wrapped around, and so we got all the lights on, and she thought we were done. I said, oh, no, we can pick out an ornament and take it over to Grandpa. Grandpa, by the way, is in the house. He's right back there. Hi, Al. Hi, Grandpa. There he is. And then you can help him put it on the tree. Everything she picked up, she went, whoa, wow. And no, nothing broke. She was very, very careful. And then she found an ornament that turned out to be three ornaments that were her favorite. One was a little a little paper plate that my son had an ornament he'd made in kindergarten. He painted it green, and he pasted pieces of macaroni on it. And in the middle was his kindergarten picture. She went, whoa. But when he was little, he picked all the macaroni off and ate all the pieces when they were dry. That brought him joy. But I decided, I'm not getting rid of this thing. I'm going to put that paper plate up on our tree every year. And then she found an ornament that was given to us last year of her as a baby. And she went, oh, whoa. I said, that's you. So she took it over to Grandpa Owl, that's what she calls him, Grandpa Owl, and put Daddy here, Isabel there. And then she found a little Christmas mouse that he'd been given by one of his grandmas. And she said, oh, that's my favorite. She put it right between them. And there they stay. The joy in that little girl's eyes. Someday she'll understand what a joy that she brings to us every single day. Here are some things that bring me joy. Hearing my mother's laugh. She doesn't just sort of chuckle. My mom is a belly laugher, boy. She can laugh, laugh, laugh. She's 94. Funniest woman I know. I love singing with others. Doesn't that feel good? Kind of feels great to lift our voices together. I love giving what is mine to give. It doesn't feel good to give more than we're able, because then we feel that lack and that we feel worried. But what is ours to give? And it doesn't have to be a material thing to bring us joy. It might just be saying to somebody, boy, I'm glad you're here. I've been thinking of you. How are you? It might be bursting into song at the grocery store with your sister and tap dancing down the aisle to get the bread, which I've done many times.
Or giving a Christmas present to someone.
Absolutely. And you know what? That is a gift to give a gift. What a great point. So the Dalai Lama said, when you witness joy in another, there is an energy, a lightness, and an almost childlike presence. An energy and a lightness and an almost childlike presence when you witness it. I'd never watched a Hallmark Christmas movie before. I have been helping to take care of my mom. And I've seen a whole bunch of them now. But here's the thing. She needed to see something that had a happy ending. She needed to see it. Different plot lines, maybe some of the same actors. But you know what? This Christmas is her first Christmas without the physical presence of my dad. And she found a way every single day to have some joy. Yesterday we were watching yet another Christmas movie on a Hallmark channel. And then I realized there's a pattern. Every time she'll say, well, that guy's pretty handsome. And she no longer says, I wonder if they'll end up together. Every time she says, oh yeah, okay, so that one's for her. They're going to end up together. I don't know how it's going to happen. But that's joy for her. She needs it. She wisely chose to do something she'd never done before, which is watch Hallmark Christmas movies. That wasn't her MO. But you know what? It is now, and that's okay. And she helped me realize that, hey, matter of fact, that's great because it brought her joy. And in a way, it brought me joy too. And every time she'd get ready to say it, I go, I think she's going to say he's pretty handsome. So now I start joining in. I go, Mom, that guy's pretty handsome. She said, I know. In many ways, Christmas is about the gift. It's about giving and receiving. So in this room right now, we're full of gifts right now. If you are willing, and only if you feel like doing it, turn to one person and say, I appreciate the gift of your presence. If you want to stand, you certainly can. If you want to sit, I appreciate the gift of your presence. Mm-hmm. And then allow them to say that to you if they choose. I appreciate yours too, darling. Oh, yes. The greatest gift we have and can receive is the awareness of who we are in spirit and in truth. So how can we light that candle of joy in our own lives? By appreciating what's and who is around us. Joy comes from knowing and understanding who we really are. The word Christ is a title that means the anointed one. The song, O come, Emmanuel. Emmanuel means God in us, God in me, God in you. O come, Emmanuel. The gift is for you, whoever you are, the gift of our spiritual potential. We all have it. Each of us has within us a light that, when properly nurtured, will shine, but it takes some handling with care. And sometimes we forget that it's the ordinary aspects of our life. That's where this happens, the ordinary. It's in the ordinary that we find the extraordinary, and sometimes we don't slow down enough or take the time to notice the precious things in our life. Handle with care who we are. Handle with care those around us. I want to read a poem to you about that very thing. And this is a poem by Donna Ashworth. Joy does not arrive with a fanfare on a red carpet strewn with the flowers of a perfect life. Joy sneaks in as you pour a cup of coffee, watching the sun hit your favorite tree just right. And you usher joy away because you're not ready for it. Your house is not as it must be for such a distinguished guest. But joy cares nothing for your messy home or your bank balance or your waistline, you see. Joy is supposed to slither through the cracks of your imperfect life. That's how joy works. Joy is supposed to. You cannot invite her. You can only be ready when she appears. She's here this morning. She's right here with us. And you hug her with meaning because in this very moment, joy chose you. Christmas time is a great time to have awareness of who we are, what powerful spiritual beings we actually are. So on this fourth Sunday of Advent, we light the candle of joy, anticipation, the coming of the Christ consciousness, the coming of a wonderful, amazing way shower, the person, human person of Jesus. Our ancestors chose this time of year metaphorically. We know that Jesus was probably not born during this season, but during the season of change to winter, winter to spring, to new light and longer days coming into this world, they chose that. The turning of the seasons to light, symbolically, Jesus brought luminosity and a remembrance that we have access to the very same. There is a light in you. There is that consciousness in you, spark of divinity that can never be taken from you. Call it what you will.
Hanukkah.
You can absolutely. In our house, we celebrate Hanukkah and Christmas. Light, love, chocolate, food, presents. All those things. And Christmas is not an event that happens only in December or 2,000 years ago in Palestine. Christmas happens as we open to the possibility of hope, when we live in the understanding of peace, and when we give love. It happens all the time. It happens every day. It's happening right now. Go tell it on the mountain. Tell it over the hills. Tell it everywhere.
Most wonderful of the year.
That Jesus Christ is born. So we look at that Christ consciousness as our birthright for our human souls. Charles Fillmore, one of the co-founders of the Unity movement, said, he defines joy as, quote, the happiness of God expressed through humankind. God's joy will be in us, and our joy will be complete. We've all heard the song, let every heart prepare him room, where within ourselves. And heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. The oneness of our world. There is no separation. Repeat, repeat, what? The sounding joy. It's not joy to some, but it's joy to the world. That includes all of us. That includes everybody in every country in our world. Everyone. Everyone. I think of the traditional Christmas story, one that was read in so many churches and households. Jesus was a brown-skinned Middle Eastern refugee child of Jews. Islam didn't exist yet. Who was born in a stable because there was no room at the inn. Sound familiar? In Unity, the story is seen in metaphysical terms. Metaphysical terms. In the Advent devotional booklet called The Spirit of Christmas, Reverend Kurt Condra and other writers explore why the ancient celebration of the birth of Christ is so meaningful. And they wonder, why does the story of Mary and Joseph and the divine child born in a manger continue to resonate with us over 2,000 years later? Christmas represents the divine child born in each of us, and the attributes we can develop as we learn to express our God nature in human form. It teaches us that the Spirit of God lived in Jesus, just as, guess what, it lives in every person. He expressed his divine potential and showed others how to express their divinity, which Unity calls Christ, or the Christ consciousness. So it's not just for a certain time of year anymore. It's not any more than love or peace or joy or goodwill or for a certain time of year. We can celebrate the advent of the Christ Spirit any time of the year. Parker Palmer, who is an author, Parker Palmer, say that time, Parker Palmer. I was saying that out loud the other night. I was going, Parker Palmer. It brought me joy, what can I say? It's a very serious business here at Unity Church of, Unity Lawrence. Okay. But I love what he wrote. He said, the Christmas story reminds me of a simple fact that transcends traditions and creeds. Each of us has a chance to live as the light in the darkness, right here, right now, standing alone. My little light makes little difference to anyone but me and the few I might touch. but multiply it by the millions who want to take back the night, and we can write a new story for our time. It's been done before, and it can be done again. In that spirit, I wish everyone the blessings of light and a resolve to be the light, and I encourage us all to do that. I want to step away from the darkness of night. Not the sacred darkness of night, but the heavy, awful, destroying darkness of night. And I want to choose to be that light and bring it to our world on this Christmas. That is my intention this year. That is what I am choosing to do. I have many things happening this year for Christmas. One of them is grief, and one of them is joy. I'm getting to choose what works best for me, and without judgment. So before we go into meditation, I want to read one more thing for you, something that talks about what happens when Christmas Day is past. It's called The Mood of Christmas by Howard Thurman. When the song of the angels is stilled, when the star in the sky is gone, when the kings and princes are home, when the shepherds are back with their flock, the work of Christmas begins. To find the lost, to heal the broken, to feed the hungry, to release the prisoner, to rebuild the nations, to bring peace among people, to make music in the heart. So as I go back over to the keyboard to play some music for you that is speaking to me today, the words, it's an old Austrian carol, but as I'm singing it, I'm thinking of it in metaphorical terms. It's soothing to me. I learned it as a child. While I'm transitioning over there, I invite you to think of what and who brings you joy and how you might bring that to others. So relax in your chair, take a deep breath, and let's get ready for meditation. sleeps around you still. Tis the eve of our Savior's birth. Dream, dream, of the joyous day to come. Guardian angel without number, won't you ask? You sweetly slumber, of the joyous day to come. And we close our eyes and we take a deep breath in and out, slowly at our own pace. And we take another breath. And we know that we are all a part of the divine, the sacred Christ consciousness with each, every beat of our hearts. We are all connected. There is no separation. And as we look at the beautiful Christmas lights, and listen to the music of the season, and we see the joy on each other's face, or even the tears in each other's eyes, we remember that we are the light of this world. We are here to shine that light wherever we are during Christmas, during every part of our year, with everyone, including ourselves. And we still our thoughts, still, still, still. And we dream of the joyous day that is here right now. And we remember. And we breathe. And we gradually bring ourselves back to this room or wherever we are in the world. And we look around us. And we remember we are part of the divine. And for that we are grateful. And as I play this next song for you, I'm remembering my childhood. And it brings me so much joy to sing it for you this morning. Children, go where I send thee now. How shall I send thee well? I'm gonna send thee one by one for the little bitty baby who's born in Bethlehem. Go where I send thee. Now how am I gonna send thee? I'm gonna send thee two by two, two for Paul and Silas, one for a little bitty baby. I said, born in Bethlehem. Go where I send thee. How am I gonna send thee? Well, I'm gonna send thee three by three, three for the Hebrew children, one for Paul and Silas, one for a little bitty baby. I said, born in Bethlehem. Yeah. I feel the joy down in my heart. I said, go where I send thee children. How am I gonna send thee? Well, I'm gonna send thee four by four, four for the four that stood at the door, five for the gospel preachers, six for the six that never got fixed, seven for the seven that never got to heaven, eight for the eight that stood at the gate, one for the little bitty baby born in Bethlehem. Children, go where I send thee now. How am I gonna send thee? Well, I'm gonna send thee nine by nine, nine for nine, all dressed so fine, 10 for the 10 commandments, 11 for the 11-day riders, 12 for the 12 apostles, one for the little bitty babies born in Bethlehem. Children, go where I send thee. I send thee. Well, I'm gonna send thee one by one, one for a little bitty baby. I said, born in Bethlehem.
Woo! Yes. You know, as a kid, I always wanted to be in a church with that type of music, and I realized as you were playing that, Kelly, I was like, my dream has come true!
I told you, she's the best.
She is the best. Thank you so much for being here. And as our ushers come forward for a time of thanks, I invite you to join me as we hold our gifts to this community in our hands and love in our hearts. Let's affirm together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. And as the love offering is collected, let's join Holly in singing Joy to the World.
Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive the King. Let every heart prepare Him room. Heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Joy to the world, the Savior reigns. Let all the songs impart. While fields and floods, rocks, hills, and plains, repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy.
Thank you. And as our ushers come forward, here's our prayer of thanks. Please listen. We are grateful and we bless the flow of good that supports our Unity community. We bless the givers who give their time, talent, and treasure. We stand in the knowing that the flow of good goes forth only to return again and again, and so it is. Amen. And now for our opportunities. A special welcome to our guests today, including my dad. Thanks for coming, Dad. Thank you so much for joining us. If you would like more information about the Unity Movement and Unity of Lawrence, please pick up a welcome packet in the foyer. Our Sunday lunch bunch will not be convening today, but we'll be back next Sunday. I know, dang it.
Just to let you guys know, every Christmas Eve, everything is mostly closed on the 2nd.
This is true. It's a practical matter. We would love to convene with you. A reminder that every Tuesday is open meditation with Phil Roger at 6:30 here in the sanctuary. Save the date. Friday, January 19th at 7 p.m., we'll be hosting a Crystal Bowl concert with Jeff Klein. More information in the foyer. Another date to note. We'll be holding our annual meeting immediately after service on Sunday, January 28th. We'll review this past year, vote on the 2024 budget, and elect new board members. Please plan on staying and participating in this very important meeting. And please join us next Sunday for our Burning Bowl ceremony with Reverend Stephanie Barton, special music with Star Sister Revival. And if you enjoyed Kelley's music today, please go visit Wise Grandpa Owl in the back and check out some merch. And now it's time to rise as you are able to sing the peace song.